Hello, I'm Tyler Harrell, CEO of the Greenhouse Treatment Center. At the Greenhouse Treatment Center, we have a team of seasoned professionals here to take care of all the underlying issues that cause addiction, substance abuse, and some mental health concerns. We also know that dysfunctional family dynamics can be a huge part of why people relapse after treatment and can be a contributor to why people are seeking treatment in the first place. Our therapists, our counselors, our physicians, and our nurses, we host a number of different family programs, whether it's via telemedicine or in person, and each client has an individual therapist that is assigned to them to tailor their treatment to their own individual needs. I encourage family members to participate as much as they can, whether it is in our in-person family programming that occurs on select weekends, via that telemedicine, telehealth counseling that we offer, or even finding resources in their own home area, such as Al-Anon meetings or individual or family therapy if they're not able to travel here to the treatment center. Thank you for choosing the Greenhouse Treatment Center, and we hope that the time here spent with you and your loved one is formative and helpful.
If you understand what a loved one is going through in treatment, it can be easier to provide the emotional support they need at this time. In detox and rehab, clients confront not only the physical demands of getting clean and sober, but also the mental challenges of facing and overcoming their addiction.
A typical day at Greenhouse begins with a number of options early in the morning. You have the option to do yoga in the morning, do swimming. It starts about 7 o'clock in the morning, and then our groups begin promptly at 8:30 a.m. We have 3 groups prior to lunch, all those lasting about 1 hour. Those are education groups. And then after lunch, we have what we call process groups. That's a 2-hour process, and that's where we really get to the bottom of the underlying issues that typically are driving the addiction. And that's with your particular therapist and their caseload. So it's a much smaller, more intimate setting. After that, we have 2 more education groups and then dinner. And then in the evening, we have outside groups such as AA, NA, and other recovery groups that come in and bring meetings. Each individual has a treatment team, and that treatment team consists of a psychiatrist, a therapist, a nurse, and a case manager. So they could interact with any of those individuals throughout the day, whether it be individual sessions, medication management with their psychiatrist, meeting with nurses to deal with any medical issues, and case managers to deal with family medical leave or short-term disability or even aftercare planning. Here at Greenhouse, we have a wide variety of therapy. Right now, I think we have 14 therapists. They all practice different modalities. We do CBT, narrative therapy, EMDR, ART. We have really a smorgasbord of therapists here, and we're really good about fitting you with a therapist that you're going to hit it off with. You know, if you don't necessarily hit it off with your therapist, you know, we're going to find you somebody that can meet your needs. So we want to meet you where you are and give you the best opportunity for success, and having those different modalities enables us to do that.
If the family is to grow stronger and the home is to become stable enough to sustain sobriety, substance abuse must be addressed as a family issue. Family therapy sessions are conducted as part of a comprehensive rehabilitation program, and they may be held on a one-to-one basis or with all family members present.
The greatest benefit of family therapy first is that we will get to understand our level of communication with our loved one. A lot of times we feel disencouraged, or we are morally or emotionally overwhelmed with what is going on with the behaviors of our loved one when they're under the influence of drugs or alcohol. And so we need to be able to understand our own feelings and come to the terms of understanding that they are not people that is using these drugs because it's all pleasure. So the reality is that they have developed a disease, and that disease needs to be addressed medically and psychiatrically. And in order for us to see them as individuals, so we have to understand how we feel. And so once that we understand that, we were able to communicate that in a healthy manner. One of the benefits of family therapy is the education, not only on communication styles and learning to be assertive and communicating what we need, how we need it, and feel comfortable with that, setting boundaries with our loved one, be able to say when enough is enough and offer the alternative instead of just making terminal decisions.
In spite of the coping strategies, social services, and resources that rehab provides, the family is still one of the greatest sources of support for a person going through recovery. Family involvement in the recovery process has consistently proven to be one of the most significant factors predicting long-term abstinence after rehab.
Yeah, so the family member's role in recovery, first and foremost, it is about education. So being really educated on this really complex disease of addiction and understanding how it kind of hijacks the brain and really deciphering the addiction, the disease from your loved one and that person. So the best thing you can do is get educated. And so there are a ton of groups around the community called Al-Anon. Al-Anon is huge. They're for family and friends who have loved ones who are addicts. And you can kind of learn how to navigate that and how to communicate with your loved ones in a really, really healthy way. A major thing is to always be calm and logical when you're talking with your loved one. You don't want to get too emotionally involved. That can create shame and guilt, and it's not productive. So when your loved one is in rehab, being really logical and calm and really encouraging that they're here. Use some positive reinforcement there. Some great actions that family members can take to maximize the benefits of rehab would be to self-care. So for the family to really make sure that you're taking care of yourself during this time, you know, you're using your coping skills, you're talking to your individual therapist, you're going to Al-Anon meetings, educating yourself about this disease of addiction, and that's really going to go a really long way. Another option is we have Building Bridges Family Day. So we have it virtually and in person, and so you can come and have a family group at Greenhouse and really learn about how to navigate this and next steps and really focusing on aftercare.
At Greenhouse Treatment Center, we offer our Building Bridges family program twice a month. For this program, spouses, children, parents, siblings, significant others, and partners can attend. The purpose of Building Bridges is to help support persons learn about the disease of addiction and how to support their loved ones during and after their stay in treatment. The program integrates psychoeducation, process group, and an interactive family activity with lunch and visitation. A licensed therapist facilitates the programming, which includes topics on where addiction occurs in the brain, depression, anxiety, and psychosis, medication-assisted treatment, boundaries, warning signs of relapse, and information for support groups and families. Chances for our clients' recovery are greatly increased by the participation of their support system in this program. Therefore, we ask our clients to encourage their support system to participate.
For most of us, the impulse to help someone we love, whether it's a blood relative, a close friend, or an intimate partner, comes naturally. But when it comes to addiction, that impulse to provide help and support can become distorted into a form of dysfunctional behavior called enabling. Family members must learn to draw the line between empowering a loved one who's suffering from addiction and enabling the destructive behavior to continue. Enabling is making excuses for a loved one's mistakes, letting a loved one abuse you or someone else, neglecting your own needs to help someone else, allowing a loved one to skip out on therapy or recovery activities. Empowering is holding that person accountable for their choices and behavior, refusing to accept anything but respectful treatment, letting your loved one take care of their own needs, attending therapy sessions or support groups with your loved one.
A loved one can provide that support by just listening to them, you know, being a resource for them, allowing them to make decisions with their guidance, you know, and not being afraid to let them know when they're not doing the right thing. For instance, if a client say, hey, it's up to you to make sure that I get to work. I need you to give me a ride. One of the things you could do, instead of making sure they get to work by your car every day, you can make sure that you take them to go get a monthly bus pass. That is one example. Another example would be like, every time they need something, you cannot be the one that provide and are responsible for those needs. We're going to give you all the resources. I'm going to give you words of encouragement to be successful, but I cannot take on your recovery as my own responsibility.
What can a family expect when a relative or partner comes back from rehab? Although the recovery process may begin with treatment, it continues for months or years after rehab ends.
Okay, by setting clear boundaries, clear expectations, and clear consequences before they get home. What would happen if they use and keep lying? Some of the tools we taught in treatment are making helpful boundaries, and the parent or the loved one should be aware of things like that before your loved one gets home, and make clear what consequences will have if you don't have those boundaries or expectations set before they come home.
People in recovery may still display the following behaviors after rehab: mood swings, emotional manipulation of family members, depression, cravings for drugs or alcohol, anxiety, difficulty coping with stress.
A number of things that are out there for the families. We have a number of resources that are available, such as Al-Anon, just for the families. We have adult children of alcoholics. There's programs in many towns. Many of the IOPs and PHPs offer programs for the family members. Addiction takes hostages. And while you have an addict that's active, either from substance use, such as a chemical, alcohol, drugs, whatever the drug of abuse is, there's very little the family does. And when the client comes here for healing, we have a family program that we encourage everyone to take advantage of, but that's just a small start. When the client leaves here, there's got to be a way for the family to get as much help as the client got while the client was here. And you do that through groups that are available across the nation. Again, like Al-Anon and other groups that specifically deal with the issues that the family have been dealing with to help them normalize what's been going on.
For family members and individuals, that are coming into treatment, we know this is difficult. It's not an easy decision, but I promise you it's the right decision. We're here to help you, and I think most of all what I want you to know is you're not alone. We're here for you, we're here to set you up for success, and that's what we plan to do.